What if everything you thought you knew about Iran was wrong? This is a land where light dances through stained glass onto silk carpets, where the hottest place on earth sculpts stone into castles, where ancient empires rose and their echoes still stand. This is Iran, and it's nothing like you imagined. "7,000 years ago, long before Rome, before Greece, civilization was already flourishing here. Persepolis was the ceremonial heart of the greatest empire the ancient world had ever seen. Cyrus the Great, who wrote the first declaration of human rights, rests in a tomb so simple it humbles kings to this day. Carved into cliff sides, pressed into clay, etched in stone, the Persians recorded everything. Their ziggurats still pierce the sky. Their inscriptions still speak. An empire may fall, but stone remembers. The Persians called Isfahan half of the world, and once you see it, you'll understand why. Every surface here is a masterpiece. Artisans have been hand-engraving copper in these bazaars for 500 years. The bridges are not just crossings. They are gathering places where strangers sing together under the arches at night. In Isfahan, Christians, Muslims, and Jews have lived side by side for centuries. The city doesn't just tolerate difference, it decorates it. And when night falls, families spread blankets in the great square, pour tea, and remind you what life is really about. Shiraz is where Iranians come to fall in love, with poetry, with gardens, with the scent of orange blossoms in spring. At the tomb of Hafez, people don't mourn. They read his verses out loud, as if speaking to an old friend. Even the desserts here are poetry. Faluda, frozen rosewater noodles with a squeeze of lime. In Kashan, they harvest roses at dawn and distill them into perfume that has been prized for 1,000 years. Behind plain mud walls hide mansions of breathtaking beauty. Stained glass, carved plaster, pools that mirror the sky. In Iran, the most beautiful things are always hidden. Yazd is the oldest living city on Earth, and it breathes through towers. These wind catchers are ancient air conditioners, pulling cool air into mud brick homes without a single watt of electricity. In the alleys below, time moves differently. Before Islam, before Christianity, there was Zoroastrianism, born right here in Iran. A fire has been burning in this temple for over 1,500 years. The Towers of Silence once held the dead, offered to the sky. And at Chak Chak, pilgrims still climb to a shrine built into a cliff where legend says the mountain wept to protect a princess. And then, the desert. The Lut Desert holds the record for the hottest surface temperature ever measured on Earth, 71 degrees Celsius. But at night, it becomes one of the clearest skies in the world. Silence so deep, you can hear your own heartbeat. But wait, Iran has rainforests? These ancient Hyrcanian forests survived the Ice Age. They've been standing for 50 million years. In the north, it rains more than London. Tea grows on misty hillsides, and villages cling to mountains so steep that your neighbor's roof is your front yard. Mount Damavand, the highest volcano in the Middle East, watches over it all. Below, the Caspian coast stretches with dark sand beaches. Grandmothers sell walnuts and pomegranates by the road. This is not the Iran from the news. This is the Iran that Iranians love. On Hormuz Island, the beach is red, not reddish, blood red. The soil comes in every color of the rainbow, and locals even cook with it. Off the coast, dolphins swim in crystal water, and canyons twist like alien landscapes. In the west, Kurdish villages cascade down mountainsides like living staircases. Inside a mountain, you can float through an underground lake in complete darkness. And in the far southeast, the coast looks like Mars, where the desert simply walks into the ocean. But the real treasure of Iran is not in its buildings. It's in its hands. Hands that pick saffron before sunrise, the most expensive spice on earth. Hands that pour tea from a samovar. Because in Iran, no conversation begins without tea. Hands that slap bread onto hot stones and flip rice so the crispy bottom, the tahdig, becomes the most fought-over piece at every table. Persian carpets take years to weave, each knot tied by hand. Calligraphers turn words into art. Craftsmen inlay wood with thousands of tiny pieces. And somewhere in the mountains, nomads still migrate with their flocks, following routes their ancestors walked 1,000 years ago. Iran is not one story. It's 1,000 stories, carved in stone, woven in silk, poured into tea, whispered in poetry. A country that has survived 7,000 years of history and still finds time to spread a blanket under the stars and share a meal with a stranger. This is Iran. Come see for yourself.